Hello. First things first is you need to make sure that you have rated yourself on 11.2 on the cover letter or on the cover sheet of your packet. And then I want you to go ahead and on the first official page of notes is label it page 1, on the back page of that, page 2, so on and so forth until you get to all the way to page 15 and 16. 16 is the very back page. And then you will be able to go to page 3, and that's where we're going to start today. So if you're in 5th hour, we're skipping pages 1 and 2. So the very first things that you need to remember is set the quadratic equation equal to 0, and be sure to look for the GCF before factoring. So what you need to do is look at 4x minus 8x minus 5 equals 0. It is set equal to 0. And 4x minus 8x minus 5 has a GCF of 1. Now we're ready to identify our A, which is 4, B, negative 8, and C, which is negative 5. We're ready to do our X factor, which is A times C, 4 times negative 5, which is negative 20. And then we'll add those together to get negative 8. So factors of negative 20 are positive 1 times negative 20, 2 times negative 10, and 4 times negative 5. So 2 times negative 10 is our factor pairs that work. Next, we're going to expand using our 4 blanks. The first blank comes from 4x squared, which is our original problem. And then our last blank comes from negative 5. Our two middle terms are 2x and negative 10x. Now we're going to find the GCF of the first two terms because we're factor by grouping. The GCF of 4x squared and 2x is 2x. So I'm going to pull that out. And then what's left over, 4 divided by 2 is 2x. And 2 divided by 2 is a positive 1. Then this one, you got to pull down your negative. And it's a negative 5. That's in common in between both of them. Negative 10 divided by negative 5 is a positive 2x. Negative 5 divided by negative 5 is a positive 1. We have twins, so we're going to write that down one time. 2x plus 1. And then we're going to put our GCF in another parenthesis, 2x minus 5. But now it's the new part. We're going to set both of them equal to 0 and solve. So we have 2x minus 5 equals 0. And then we have 2x plus 1 equals 0. Now it's a two-step equation, so we have to get the x by itself. So in order to do that, we got to get rid of this minus 5. So we're going to add 5 to both sides first. That leaves us with 2x is equal to 5. We're going to divide both sides by 2. So that leaves us with x is equal to 5 divided by 2 is 5 halves, or also known as 2.5. On this side, we're going to subtract 1 on both sides. This cancels. We're left with 2x is equal to negative 1. We're going to divide both sides by 2. So x is equal to negative 0.5. So then our solutions, we're going to put them in the curly braces or the squiggly braces, whichever one you want to call them. And it's 2.5 and negative 0.5. And that's our solutions for today for this first problem. Let's look at the second problem. You first look at the GCF, and the GCF in between 5, 8, and 3 is 1. It is set equal to 0, so we're ready to rock and roll. We can identify our A, which is 5, B, negative 8, and C, which is 3. The X factor, which is A times C. 5 times 3 is 15. They have to add together to give me negative 8. Anytime you have a positive on top and a negative on bottom, both factors must be equal to a negative number. So 15 would be negative 1 times negative 15, and negative 3 times negative 5. And our factor pair would be negative 3 and negative 5. So our four blanks, our 3 terms turn into 4 terms at this point. So our first term is 5x squared. Our last term is positive 3. And remember, that comes from the very beginning, right here. And then our middle 2 terms are negative 3x and negative 5x. We're going to factor by grouping. Pulling out what the GCF is. The GCF of this first one is a 1x. And what's left over would be a 5x. And negative 3 divided by 1 is negative 3, and my x's cancel. And on this one, we're going to pull out a negative because this is negative. And the GCF in between these two is a 1. So I'm pulling out a negative 1. Negative 5 divided by negative 1 is a positive 5x. Positive 3 divided by negative 1 is a negative 3. We have a pair of identical twins, so we've got 5x minus 3. And in the other parenthesis, we have x minus 1. So we're going to split them up and set them equal to 0. And then 5x minus 3 equals 0. This is so we can find our solutions. To get x by itself on this one, we're going to add 1 to both sides. 0 plus 1 is 1. And on this one, it's a two-step equation. So the first thing that we have to do is get the 5x by itself by adding 3 to both sides. My 3's cancel. I'm left with 5x is equal to 3. Divide both sides by 5. And x is equal to 3/5, or you can divide it and get a fraction of, or not a fraction, a decimal of 0.6. It's okay to leave it as 3/5, or you can translate it down to 0.6. As long as it's a terminating decimal, you can do that. So then we're going to write it as 1 and 0.6. Go ahead and turn your page to page 4. Next, we got to set it equal to 0 so we can go ahead and solve. So in order to do that, we are going to subtract 100 on both sides. So then it's going to look like this. 4x squared minus 100 is equal to 0. Then we're going to do the GCF. And the GCF is 4. So now we have 4 times x squared minus 25, and that's equal to 0. Next, we're going to identify our A, B, and C. Our A is 1. Our B, remember, sits next to the X. There is no X's in this one, so our B is 0, and our C is negative 25. We're going to do the X factor. A times C. A times C is 1 times negative 25, which is negative 25, added together to give me 0. And my factors of negative 25 are 1 and negative 25, and 5 and negative 5. The one that works is 5 and negative 5. They're the only ones that add up to give me 0. Next is the 4 terms to expand. So my first term comes from right here. And then this is my last term. So that goes here and here. So x squared and negative 25. And my two middle terms go in the middle, 5x and negative 5x. Factor by grouping next. I've got an x in common, so I'm going to pull that out. When I pull out an x, I'm left with an x, and that's a plus 5. I forgot to put my plus sign. So x plus 5. And on this one, I've got to pull down my negative. So I've got a negative 5 in common. Pull that out. So negative 5 divided by negative 5 is 1. So I've got a 1x. Negative 25 divided by negative 5 is a positive 5. I have identical twins, so I write that down once. X plus 5. And then I have x minus 5. And then I have that GCF from the very beginning, which was a 4. I'm going to set all of that equal to 0. So I've got 4 equals 0. And does 4 equal 0? No, it does not. So we don't have to worry about that one because 4 does not equal 0. So next up is x minus 5.